I'm reading all of Stephen King's books in the order they were published, and in this video I'm going to talk about the 10 books that I most look forward to reading. And I do hope that I'll eventually get to them. A group of kids in a small town face a shape-shifting evil that feeds on fear and then has to face it again as adults. I'm of course talking about It. Yes, of course it's on my list, and it came out in 1986, so I am not too far off from reading this one. It's thick, which is intimidating, but it's also so wildly popular that I feel like I just want to get to it. I just want to dive in. And then of course it's that scene that everyone's talking about, and it's not like I want to read it, but I also kind of want to see what everyone's talking about. So yes, with its like 1,000+ pages, it is definitely on the list. Next up, we have the second book in the Dark Tower series, which is The Drawing of the Three. Now, we have Roland the Gunslinger, which we met in the first book. He pulls allies from different worlds in his quest toward the Dark Tower. I didn't really like Gunslinger. It felt like a prequel almost, or like a very long prologue to the actual series. But I've heard that this second book is where it really takes off, hopefully. I had looked forward so much to reading the series and was let down by The Gunslinger, so hopefully this one is going to show me what I actually think about the series. The second book actually came out the same year as The Drawing of the Three, which is Misery. This is one, I would say, of his most famous books. Every recommendation video I watch, this is always on it. So a writer is held captive by his number one fan. He's forced to rewrite a story with terrifying consequences. Now, since I'm reading these in order, this is like 10 books away or something, which feels too much. It's too much because I want to read this now. Then we have The Green Mile. A prison guard witnesses supernatural events surrounding an inmate on death row. Now, you can debate where to put this in the order of things, but I've chosen to put this as 1996 when it was serialized. So I loved this movie. I watched it so many times. Haven't watched it in a while now, but it really stayed with me. So I'm curious to see if the book will hit me in the same way or maybe even more. Then we have another big one. 11/22/63. A man travels back in time to stop the assassination of JFK, but changing history comes at a cost. This is also one of those that I see recommended all the time, and people even calling it like the best book they've ever read, period. But this is a long way off. This was published in 2011. And I don't even want to count how many books there are between now and getting there, you know? It's one of those future me will be really happy when I finally get there, but present me is like really impatient and just wants it to be now. Then, my friends, another one on the list is Dr. Sleep. We met Danny in The Shining. He is now an adult. He's trying to protect a young girl with powers similar to his own from a deadly cult. Now, The Shining really pulled me in and scared the life out of me. I've heard that this is actually a pretty good sequel, which is why it's on the list. It makes me really curious. However, this one came out in 2013, so it's another one of those, see you later. Pretty far off, but I'll get there eventually. So I'm currently going through the 80s. So this is another one that is pretty far off because it was published in 2009 and it's Under the Dome. A town is suddenly cut off from the world by an invisible dome, and the chaos pretty quickly takes over. The premise of this one has always intrigued me. Now, I've heard that some people aren't that happy about the ending, but I still, this is one that really I've wanted to read for a long time. Even before I even got into Stephen King. But it is scary when you hear mixed things about a book that you've wanted to read for a long time. It could lead to disappointment. But I don't know, it's been on my radar for so long. I think I just have to maybe go into it with a little bit of an adjustment to my expectations. So are you now sitting there going, hey, where's this book? Where's that book? Maybe this one is one of those books that you've quietly now been questioning, is this gonna come up on the list or is she crazy? And that's Pet Sematary. So a burial ground with the powers to bring back the dead leads a family to unimaginable horrors. And this is something that I want to read. Now, this one is getting scarier by the book because it's not that many books left until I read this one. It's actually just one, Christine. I'm really scared to read this one, but I've also looked forward to it since I started this project, when you finally reach one of those long-awaited books. But in this case, it's also kind of terrifying. Now, you might be surprised to hear this, considering I'm going through this Stephen King project, but I'm actually a little bit of a chicken. And you might be thinking, why are you reading Stephen King then? Well, because we're all complex people with layers and contradictions. Now, this book scares me, but I also can't wait. Now I have a young prince who must escape imprisonment and reclaim his throne from a dark magician. Now, this one with Pet Sematary is actually on the list of books I want to read this year, and it's The Eye of the Dragon. He is mostly known for horror, but as I've heard it, he's actually really good at fantasy as well. So that's why I'm looking forward to this one, because I'm curious to see more how his fantasy writing is. Which brings us to the last one, which is Duma Key. Duma Key? Duma Key. Yeah, so a man recovering from trauma discovers that his paintings may have dangerous supernatural powers. Now, when I was putting together this list, there were some obvious choices, like Pet Sematary. And I was almost surprising myself when I put this one on the list. But I guess it was already kind of stored in my brain. It keeps popping up on my radar. I've seen a lot of readers talk about this as an unexpected hit. And hey, I always love an underdog. Now, this one came out in 2008, so again, I will just have to wait. Those are the Stephen King books. That's the list of the books that I'm most excited to get to. Any books you think I should have included? Did I miss an obvious one? It's kind of exciting that there's so many books still ahead of me, but also kind of overwhelming because it's just so many books and seeing how far away some of these books are. I don't know, I guess that's also what makes it fun with a project like this. And oh, the man has written a lot of books. So yeah, I'm just gonna continue on, see which ones actually live up to the hype, if there's gonna be more surprises along the way. I've found some new favorites that I didn't even really know that much about before I started this project. And we'll find that out together over the course of this project. Thank you for hanging out with me. I'm gonna go start this one now, so that we'll actually make some progress. See you in the next one.